All right, day 145, back day. Uh, like I was saying, I mean, we're getting kind of close to the end. Only maybe a week or two left, and then we can start trimming down. Whatever there is to trim down. But until then, let's just focus on what we're doing today. So back, I mean, not really too complicated. Um, I don't think. I don't know what I'm going to start off with as my heavier movement. Like sometimes I'll start off with heavy barbell rows or hammer strength, but I'm really just not sure today. I'll pick something, but I'm definitely going to do some cable rows, single arm, maybe some single arm pull downs. I might even do some dumbbell rows towards the end. The dumbbells aren't that like the heaviest dumbbells at the Y are the 110s, but you know, at the end of a back workout, 110 should feel pretty heavy. And I do like the squeeze you can get with the dumbbell rows. What kind of turns me off on them is the fact that you're kind of you have to brace, like you're sort of standing off axis, right? You put your hand on the dumbbell rack, whatever, and you're rowing. You end up kind of working your abs a little bit. And for me, doing ab workouts, right? You pretty much, I don't see the point in doing side crunches and stuff like that. Where you're going side to side, just because you're gonna end up thickening up your waist, right? Just think about it, right? You develop a muscle, it's gonna get larger. So for me, whenever I do abs, which is very rarely, because once you have built them, they're not really going anywhere. It's always just normal kind of crunch type movements, be it maybe machine, cable, or whatever else. But yeah, so oh yeah, so that whole tangent was because when you're doing dumbbell rows, right, you kind of have to use your core to stabilize, which it's a little uncomfortable for me, at least when I go really heavy. So I'll kind of just go by feel, do a variety of pull downs and rowing movements, and I'm sure by the end of it, I'm gonna have a freaky back pump. So nothing else to discuss. Let's just fucking get started. Alright. So I didn't bother showing the warm-up sets. Uh, all it was a plate for three, and then 2 plates for three, and 3 plates for three. And then I think 385 should feel pretty decent for the top set. I'll at least get 8 reps for sure. But on your warm-up sets, right, the whole point in my mind is just to get my back ready for the top set. I don't want to, let's say I'm going to do 5 sets of incline, what am I saying? A bent over row. I don't want to do a light set in the beginning and then a little heavier and a little heavier. No, I want to start with the heaviest possible, such that I'll have to, make the weight lighter because I'm getting so fatigued. But let's just throw this around set number one. Oh. Oh. That might have been a little too heavy. How many reps? How many? How many you want?
30, something like that. On the deload rate?
Yeah, this is load. This ain't no deload. All right, 30. Oh my God. Okay, that's enough of that. So, that was the heaviest I've ever done a barbell row. The most I've ever done before was 365. So, maybe if I feel extra strong, I'll throw 4 plates around. But that might be pushing the limit. So, I'm gonna move on to a cable, move on and do some single arm cable rows. I almost like these more than dumbbell. Like, with the dumbbell, you can build up a lot of momentum and you can sort of like lose tension at the top of the rep. Because like imagine if you really rip it from the bottom, then the dumbbell's already moving upward and it'll just float through the rest of the rep. Whereas with a cable, because it's got all these pulleys and shit, the tension is much more constant. But whatever you want to do, as long as you feel like you're doing good work, it's just a preference thing. So I've already thrown around some heavy weight. So instead of just trying to do the whole stack, I'll lighten it to 75 and then really get a better squeeze. Maybe 2 or 3 of these, I don't know. I'll go by feel. Like if I like the feeling of this really good, I would just finish the lift off with this movement. Let's do, I don't know, I'll figure it out. This kind of ended up being a first half of the lifts being rowing movements, and then the second half being more like pull down lat focused movements. But I'm thinking 2 sets of single arm pullovers, and then go finish off on, another lift. I know what it is, but I don't want to spoil it for you. Okay. I'll just record the one, but it's just a set of assisted pull-ups. At this point, my back's so weak that this will be a good movement. Hey. Okay. And a little pump check. Okay, so pretty fucking simple back day, right? Barbell rows to start. Anybody could figure that out. Couple cable rows. Anybody could swap that out with dumbbell rows or whatever they want, And then pull downs, pullovers, and assisted pull-ups. Those assisted pull-ups feel pretty good too. It's not the same as a normal kind of pull-up. Like if I just do a bodyweight pull-up, even when I'm fresh and I could actually do a lot of reps, I'm pretty much mainly just feel it in my lats. But with the assisted pull-up, I can kind of get a whole mid-back thing going. Because like, sure, lats, lats, lats. But once I start getting up to the top, I can pull way deeper because I've got that little bit of assistance pulling me up. And I can get like some mid traps or lower traps. I don't know. It just feels good. Really good squeeze. And for the most part, that's sort of how I line up my workouts. Heavy shit in the beginning, squeezing movements at the end. And then, as long as you went hard, should result in a freaky pump, which we're about to freaking unveil. Come on. Damn it, dude, this fucking shirt. Oop. I cut this cut off a little too, just maybe a little too skinny right in the middle. There we go. Just right, whatever. It's getting pretty freaky. Fucking holding flexes for back. Kind of wears you out after a fucking full on back day. So, I've said this before, back is typically a pretty seamless pump for me. Like, some days I'll have an off day or something where, like, I don't get the freakiest arm pump, or maybe my chest pump just isn't all the way there for whatever reason. But for me, back is just like bread and butter. You know, I do a couple of heavy sets and then I'm already getting pumped to hell. Fuck, what side's the front? Can't do the fucking. There we go. That's the back. So I'm gonna go back up, loiter, do calves, and then we can get in the car. So I'll see you in there. So, fuck, man. Another good lift under the belt. Right? That's the goal. That's the goal. Every lift, make it a good one. Shit's gonna start adding up over time. Right? Now, the more that you can focus on diet and sleep, making sure that you're training, in more intense ways, that's probably going to help you out as well. But, pretty much, like, your gains will slow down after a while. But as long as you're still putting in legit effort and you're not just doing so much that you can maintain your physique, right? You can get a slight little bit of benefit each lift. You're going to keep making progress. So let's get this dextro shake in before we roll. Okay. All right. So, I would prefer if they had a legit lat pull down at the Y at my gym. They got racks, they got a good amount of machines, but no legit lat pull down, like with the cable and the actual straight bar stuff like that. Like they've got a lat pull down, machine with the handles where it's like on a bar, but that kind of feels like shit. And then they have a lat pull down where it's just like it's the same thing. It's a machine, but it's just weird. Just a little bit too weird for me to enjoy doing. But as long as I've got, you know, access to at least some heavy weight, and then cables helps as well, you know, your back day doesn't have to be too complicated, right? Really, I wouldn't have minded just doing. If I only had access to a rack, and well, let's just say only a rack, presumably with a pull-up bar on it, then I would probably start off with a heavy movement, which would be just bent over barbell rows, and then I'd probably switch to some just standard pull-ups, and then I would just go back to the barbell rows lighter, so I could really get a good squeeze, and that would be the end of it, right? Like, let's say you got a home gym and that's all you got access to, right? As long as you go hard, you're gonna hit your whole back pretty much. there's nothing insanely special about any specific back exercise, right? As long as you feel like you're hitting the whole thing. You kind of got your lower section, like the lats, whatever. That's more like when you're doing pull downs. And then obviously you're not going to work your traps when you're doing pull downs. So that's when you'd want to do some kind of row. But as long as you hit the whole thing, you're pretty much good. As I'm sure you've noticed, no deadlifts. I do not do the deadlift. What's the logic? What's my logic? Why don't I deadlift? Well, it's just fucking hard. Deadlifts are hard for not much gain, if you will. Right? If I were to start off my back day with, let's just say, 3 heavy sets of deadlifts, right? I'm gonna exhaust the fuck out of myself, and I'll work my lats. Probably get some because I'll have a huge amount of tension on like my traps and everything else. But I'm also gonna end up working my glutes and my hamstrings, which I'm not training, so they're getting worked indirectly, which is gonna fatigue me even more. So, even though I did a lot of work, I almost feel like part of it would be wasted. Because then you end up just getting tired because you're taxing these secondary muscles to do the movement, right? Whereas if you put the same amount of energy into maybe a hammer strength machine row, right, then all of that energy that you use for the deadlifts, you can sort of condense it so it's all hitting your back rather than hitting your back and some glutes and some lower, not lower, and some hamstring. Oh, I had the hiccups. And some hamstrings, right? And I mean, for the purpose of, uh, I don't want to say aesthetics, just because it kind of has a connotation of like slenderness. Maybe like a lean 180 pounder. That's when you like that's sort of what's been described as the aesthetic lifter. But let's just say in a bodybuilding context, you don't really need a massive lower back, right? There's not much benefit to just having a huge lower back, right? Like your erectors, those things right in the bottom. Like if holy fuck, it's a goose. If you ever hear the term like a Christmas tree, when you see somebody flex, like let's say a back double bicep, and you can kind of see how they're, whatever. That's what I'm talking about. You don't need that to be huge, right? You're trying to work your lats and your traps to give yourself a wide look to your back. So, typically chest supported rows are going to be your best bet, right? Because then, like, that's sort of contradicting myself because I just started off with the bent over barbell rows. But for the most part, I mean, if you can just mitigate any uh, secondary muscle groups to the one that you're training, or that you're trying to train, right, the better. Like, if you're trying to work quads, and for whatever reason, well, actually, for me, whenever I do quads, or whenever I used to do machine, not a like hammer strength leg press, just the standard plate loaded leg press, I always get a ton of glute activation. Like, I feel that my fucking ass is sore almost more than my quads when I finish a set of that. And, I'm not I don't know the women's bodybuilding classes, but whatever. I don't need, I don't need a big tuchus. I'm trying to get thicker quads. So there's no reason for me to do that movement if, I'm just spending more energy working a muscle that I'm not trying to hit. Right? So instead I'd pick something like, maybe hack squat or leg extensions, sissy squats of some variety, stuff like that. I'm trying to think of another example, but nothing's really coming to mind. But yeah, I mean, that's the purpose of bodybuilding training, right? You're going in, and let's say it's your push day. When you're doing your chest exercises, right, you want to be just working chest. When you're doing your tricep push downs, you just want to be working triceps. And I guess you do shoulders on push day as well. Same fucking deal. So that got a little bit repetitive in that sort of rant. But time to go home, eat some food, probably take a nap. Cardio in the morning, and then arms. Arms tomorrow. I'm already kind of excited. I love a good arm pump. I'm not going to measure it this time. It's not going to change lift by lift. I'll probably bring the tape measure again in maybe 2 weeks or something. Before the end of the bulk for sure. Just so we can see the real max size. But until then, I'll see you next time.